Yeah.
Order filled. Check us out.
You know what time it is.
This is the Mighty Soldiers exclusive.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Next up is one of my favorite, not just traders. He is one of my favorite traders, but people in Michigan. Andy Cole, Mighty Soldiers Trades. What is up, sir?
What's up, guys? I got my Benzinga Pro mug. By the way, I love these mugs. These mugs are amazing. This is my favorite mug now. So
boom. Wait.
Mug.
But you gave me something much more valuable and meaningful than the mug.
Well, I don't know. I use the mug every day, though. I mean, the mug is pretty awesome.
Yeah, what do you do with
the ancient Roman coin I use every day as a bookmark, actually.
See, the coolest thing about that is like to know that, you know, somebody is holding the oldest thing that they've ever owned. That is pretty cool. I love that. So yeah, I'm obsessed with those things. I've collected them for a while. I used to have more time to get into the research, but not for a while. But yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Well, I'll watch my mailbox for my gift from Andy. So let's Andy, for folks that don't know Mighty Soldiers Trades, could you give a little introduction to what you do every single day and what they can expect to learn from you?
Sorry, guys. Basically, I'm just a real trader out here trying to survive, just like everybody else. And you know, I trade pre-market mostly. We stream live every single day right now for free in our Discord. So anybody that wants to just come hang out with a great group of traders, we don't mind if the numbers are huge or anything. We have great people, and that's what really matters. But yeah, just trading and growing every single day. You know,
the real deal. No funny business, just straight up trading day in, day out. All right, great. So for this session, Andy, we're going to want to take it from a beginner perspective, but we are talking about trading here. So when a lot of folks are sort of beginning with the stock market in general, they're probably thinking more investing, but then they're getting, like, when in their Google searches and their YouTube results, they're probably seeing a lot of stuff that's specifically for trading, and they're having a hard time delineating that. What we're talking about right now with you, Andy, is short term. You're buying a stock and then selling it over a very short period of time, making a short term profit. So let's delineate that for the folks. Investing is something totally separate, a little bit easier. This is trading. So that's good.
Sorry, if I give an idea and somebody, you know, if I mention what I'm doing and somebody gets into that play, if they think that they're just going to hold it for some long-term investment, they're probably going to lose their account faster than they're going to grow it. You know, I'm in here for the short-term volatility, get in, get out, and you know, yeah.
Exactly. So guys, this isn't. Would you consider yourself on the ratio between fundamental and technical? Where would you sort of put that ratio?
Basically, mostly all technical. You know, I quickly get into any filings that I can if I need to figure out as quick as we can. Sarah gets into the filings and, you know, how is this company? What is this company? Does it have an offering? Has it had an offering recently? You know, what is it looking like? Dilution, reverse splits on the horizon. Last thing you want to do, especially, is become a bag holder on something that you know they've just voted to put a reverse split through. So something like that, really, you want to know all that. So as far as fundamentals go, just the stuff that's in the immediate sense.
Beautiful. And so before we get into your screen share and having you walk us through how you have your setup, really quick, when you are getting those like notifications of reverse splits and that sort of thing that we're checking first, which platform are you using for that?
Oh, absolutely. Benzinga Pro, man. Every time. And if you guys don't know this, in Benzinga Pro, you can just click filter by securities. So you can type in your securities. You can see when it was halted. You can see all the news for anything instantly. I mean, this is the easiest platform, and also pre-market. You know, you guys rule in pre-market. But the thing that I really love is that you also rule in this new ad that you have. That was pretty awesome. That was hilarious. And 30 days for only $9.95. So, I mean, like, you guys are killing it all over. So.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. And guys, I promise this is not an infomercial. This is going to be a real trading.
Yeah, I'm just telling you the truth. This is what I actually use. I use Benzinga Pro every single day. It's on my one screen. I have TradeStation 10 on my main screen, and I have Flow Trade up to the left. So this is what I see every single day, all day. This is what I need to trade. If I don't have Pro and I don't have TradeStation and Flow Trade, you know, it's really not trading for me.
Yep, it's all about the tools that you're using. So, Andy, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to share your screen.
I will do that, and I'll let you know, Neil, that this might be the most ADD presentation you've ever seen in your life. But
Doubt it. I work for Jason. I highly doubt it.
And this is spinning, so we're good. All right, so you want me to get into this, Neil?
Let's do the thing.
All right, so I'm Andy with Mighty Soldiers Trades, veteran-owned company. We're small cap traders primarily, not entirely. We also trade options. Like to get in some option scalps on any big capitulation moves, any big news comes through on something. We're trading intraday. We want to keep our intraday trades intraday if we can. And like I said, mostly pre-market, anti-guru. So we're not about stacks of cash, Lambos, and watches. In fact, I'm just going to take this off because I think watches are very annoying. But anyways, so, I mean, we're just here being real, guys. Like I said, we're trying to survive. We're trying to just let you know what we see in the market and how we feel about everything. And if we can learn from you, I believe that I can learn from any trader too. You know, you can be brand new to the market and you have value to provide too. So it's all about providing value. That's all that really matters. And it's really easy to put on a trade these days. I mean, like TradeStation, we got the quick trade bar. These are limit orders. This is what I love about them. Other than the buy it market, sell it market, which I don't even use. Those aren't even highlighted on mine. So I don't know if I have settings turned off on that or whatever, but that's great because I don't use market orders. I only use limit orders because you can't feel a stock unless you're using limit orders. You can't feel the price action yourself when you can. There's no reaction to your order if you have a market order because it just gets filled. You know, it gets filled at whatever's available, and if it's way above the price and you're getting a bad fill, you know, that's what you signed up for, a blank check pretty much when you put through a market order. But anyways, this big button trading, if you pull up TradeStation and you have a chart going and you have this here, all you have to do is click that buy. Oops, sorry guys. I'm clicking the PowerPoint. But anyways, click the sell. You know, to sell short, same thing. Is easy to get in, take, split, bid +1. I love these bid +1 and ask -1. If you're trying to get in at bid +1 is probably a lot safer than getting into the bid. Getting into the bid, you're offering liquidity. If you're coming in at the ask, though, bid +1 in this case, you're actually taking liquidity, so you're more likely to get filled right then and there. Same thing for getting out, ask -1. And then you got TOS. They have their buttons, buy at market, sell at market, join at bid. Excuse me. Also have their big button trading. And the same thing with Webull with the big button trading. So to put on a trade, if you want to get into a trade, it's very easy. The question is, once you're in, how are you going to manage that trade? And do you know what you're doing? And are you going to just hold on and keep losing, thinking that, you know, whatever everybody said on Stock Twits was what's going to happen and you're going to make it from there? And some basic fundamentals real quick is this is just the candles for you guys. Like, you know, this is the real body. And these, the things that people call wicks, this is an upper shadow and this is a lower shadow. On the real body here, the lower part here on the green candle, this would be green, is the open, and then the high is the close, and then the high of the real body is the close, and then the high of the wick, that's the high, that's the total high of that period, which is 5 minutes, daily, whatever it is, and the low, you know, same thing, and it's the reverse or whatever for the red candles here. You know, we have the open at the high and the close at the low. That's why it's a red candle. And the very low is the low, the lower shadow. Very high is the high up the upper shadow. One thing to keep in mind real quick is like moving averages and stuff. Everybody says like the 200 day, the 65 day. It's the same thing as I just said about these candles. It's the period. So it's 65 period. So if you're talking about a 65 day, you're talking about 65 5-minute candles if you're on a 5-minute chart. So keep that in mind that it's just the period for these moving averages. Not depends on what you're on as far as your chart. Some things that I need to see when I'm trading, I need to see my level 2 and my trade matrix. This is the level 2 here. So I can see, you know, the bid size, the ask size. You see that we got 52,000 on the ask here, what I'm looking for on the ask. And I'm looking for how stocks die 101, guys. That's how I create my profit targets. That's how I know, you know, if I'm in danger and I want to get out of my position and this is just maybe not the right place for me. Again, I'll go back to also telling you guys, I always have to have a cancel all button. Sometimes I'll get that information after I put my order in before I get filled. So in that case, I'm just clicking that cancel all button, getting out of the way. And what I'm looking for on the ask here, and that's where, you know, that's where people are putting their offer out to sell their stocks, sell their shares. You know, this on the left is where they're putting a bid in to buy their shares. So the buyers are putting their orders out there, hoping to get filled on their bid. And on the ask, that's where we're trying to sell our stock, or short if you are shorting, that's when you sell first, buy later. But I'm getting into too much stuff right now. But I'm looking for this ask to come down with price. And that's pretty much another feature of how stocks die 101. If I see that 52,000, you know, comes off of 504, now it's down at like 5, you know, down to 490, whatever. I know that pretty much at this moment, a lot of sellers are stepping in, and this stock is probably not the best place for me to be long. Trade Matrix is one of the funnest, best places for me to watch the action. Like, you can watch this thing just moving up and down and watching it I call it eating the ask, eating the bid. But anyways, time and sales, this is where I'm looking for pretty much the speed, like how fast is this volume flipping through on this stock? How fast are these orders going through? I need momentum in my place. I know we'll go into that later, momentum, but these are some things that I need to see, and I definitely need to see my trade manager. And on the trade manager, I want to see, is it a buy? Is it a short? Am I covering here? I want to know the quantity filled. I need to know the filled price. Did it actually fill me at the price I put in? Did my limit order actually work? A lot of times I'll put in, you see I have a limit order for 1 cent on here. A lot of times I'll put in a quantity of 1 share at 1 cent just to see if my orders are flipping through right on my platform. I want to make sure my platform is working right every single day. I don't do this, and it hurts me whenever I don't do it. You always want to test your platform's orders, make sure everything's going through real good. And again, duration, day plus, day is where, and this is on TradeStation for just day, is where you can have your stop orders in. I always have mine set to day plus, so I'm not telling you guys to do that. And this is not investment advice. Seek the professionals to do what you guys need to do for your accounts. But day plus or GTC plus is where I keep mine, and you can't use stop orders. But I'm trading mostly pre-market anyway, so you can't do that. And then your account, I have separate accounts. I have one for shorting, I have one for options, I have one for my long, small cap stocks. So I need to know what account I'm getting filled into. And average price, that's pretty cool on TradeStation. If you guys, but remember, it's going to average out the whole entire thing through the day. Now it's not going to, but let's move on from there. Back to these big button trading, you can sort of see the level 2. You can sort of see what's sitting on the bid and ask. I don't know, what is this, NASDAQ basic or something? So I don't think this is the entire wall that you're going to see in your level 2, but it does give you a nice idea of, if buyers are stepping in. I watch the spread whenever I'm making my trades. I trade mostly off the chart and the spread. I am looking at the level 2. I am looking at the time and sales, seeing how fast that's flipping through. But I definitely need to be able to see the spread. So, like what I say is, if we're at resistance and the stock pops above resistance really quick, did it actually trade above resistance? If we pop up on the ask and we go above break resistance just on the ask, and we're trailing on the bid and it's below that resistance, did we actually break resistance? Well, not for you, because you couldn't have got out. So if you can't get out, it did not actually break resistance, even though it did on the chart, technically. Moving on here, how I scan, you guys heard it earlier, Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro has the new high of day, new low of day. We got price spikes in here. Halts are very important. I'm looking for all this. The squawk, anything Charlie says on the squawk is amazing stuff. So couldn't trade without Charlie. And I know TOS has Charlie, Benzinga Pro has Charlie here. Anyways, so looking for these halts, and like I said, you can filter this by securities, and you can see all the halts if you ever need to go back through and see any of that, all the information. It's pretty awesome, pretty powerful. I always say it, Benzinga Pro is a powerhouse, and this is not an infomercial. Nobody put me up to this, guys. I just love Benzinga. And anyways, a lot of tools to go over. So back to momentum, we got mass times velocity. That's the equal momentum. Stocks don't have mass, so I'm gonna call it virtual momentum. You can to be technical if you really want to get technical about this, but I need to see that the stock is it's like a freight train, and you push the brakes on the freight train. It's not just gonna stop on a dime. It's gonna take a bit for that thing to stop. Now, a stock can stop on a dime in certain situations, but when you're trading things that are not small caps, they say that small caps and OTCs are some of the most manipulated stocks out there. So keep that in mind too. But when a stock gets momentum, when it turns around, it takes a while for this thing to just stop. So you can see that you're trading with the trend and you've got momentum behind you. You actually have volume flipping through is what that means. If you don't have volume flipping through and you're just looking at some chart pattern, that's not really going to do it for you. That's you're just putting yourself out there, and you're at the mercy of whatever's behind the scenes, whoever's wanting to push against your order. So without momentum, day trading, intraday, small cap stocks is probably not the best. Anyways, one thing I want, guys, sometimes it's best to keep yourself into cash. Keeping yourself into cash is a position. Cash is the best position sometimes. So I want my pieces off the board. I want to be in home. I want to be safe. If there's no momentum, if the stock market is slow like it has been, the penny stock market has been horrible lately, guys. so bad. The last couple of days, we finally saw some action for the first time in weeks. I just hit 1%, or actually 0.96%, I think, on my account for the first time in quite a long time. I always say dishes are done whenever I hit 1%, and I haven't been able to say dishes are done for a while. So I just said dishes are done on the 0.96% because that's close enough to 1 for me. And I haven't said it in so long, I missed it. So dishes are done, man. Anyways, House Stocks Die 101, like I said, we're not diamond hands to the moon. I'm looking at House Stocks Die 101. I'm looking for those predictable areas of resistance where I can make my price targets. Where, if I can show you later on higher highs, lower lows and stuff, but there's we'll go into that in the charts. And I already told you guys this before. I'll tell you guys all the time. I need to know, where I get in trouble is when I don't think, where did the stock come from? Where did it go? Where could it go? What's the trend? And Alyssa was so nice to put the Redneck CD here with Cotton Eye Joe. So where did it come from? Where did it go? So that's awesome. I looked at that this morning. I'm like, Alyssa, you left that in there. And she's like, oh, shoot. So what we're looking for, higher highs and higher lows. That's an uptrend. And, so as soon as this changes, guys, if this turns around, and we break a lower low, we should probably be out of that position. If we're in an uptrend and all of a sudden this comes back down and breaks this, I mean, this is a pretty big move anyways, but that would be the lowest that you'd want to go on something like that. Downtrend is when we're making lower lows and lower highs, so you see the real body low right here, the lower shadows reach this low here off of this pop. This was probably some sort of pump and dump morning thing here. And this is how they start to die. They drop off, then they come back, get rejected at the 65 EMA on your 15-second charts, and then drop off down here to the 200, bounce back up to retest that declining 65 for the move back down to the 365. That happens every single day. So we're looking to consistently see lower lows and lower highs on these downtrends. And another thing, as far as a price target, if we buy below the VWAP, which some people will not trade below VWAP at all, we're anticipating a VWAP rejection. We're not anticipating a VWAP break. We might actually take a position at the VWAP break if we get it. But what I'm anticipating every single time when we drop off this yellow line, this yellow dotted line here, this is my VWAP. I'm looking for this right here, this point, to be my VWAP rejection. So if I grab down here off this drop, because sometimes I will, I'll wait for these things to drop off the 65 or the VWAP. I'll grab the, predictable area of support, like the 65 here on the 5-minute. I think this is DDD. Anyways, so I'm looking for my price target. It's going to be really simple. It's going to be right below the VWAP. I'm always considering it popping an upper shadow above it, a lower shadow below it. So not trying to be exact on these. These are just figments of your imagination, these moving averages. So we want to keep that in mind, that we don't need to hit them perfectly. Our price target does not need to be exactly at that line. We want to give ourselves a little bit of leeway to get out of that position and make sure we get out. So that's something to keep in mind. There's that 65 I was telling you guys about. We pulled back, we popped up higher, and I say we will meet again. The 65 EMA on the 15-second, we will meet again. Always keep that in mind. So no matter how far extended off this thing you are, it's going to meet again. In this case, it met it higher than when you were over here at this big, huge, pop. But when we drop off this, we get rejected here. And one of the places where I will take a trade, I'll look for support at the 65 for a bounce. A lot of times they'll bounce here and continue higher. I'll look for a bounce on the 200. As you see, it happens daily so much. 365 and the 200, we get a bounce there. And I don't anticipate that it's going to break out and make new highs. Instead, anticipate a rejection of the previous support levels. So as you see right here on SPCE, we had dropped off. See, we had the support right here. We had tested the support twice, and then we dropped off the support. So like I said, if I grabbed it anywhere below here, if I have a price target, it's going to be right here at the previous support, which is now going to be resistance for me. That's what I'm going to anticipate, that we're going to have resistance here. So I'm going to sell. But a great thing about this particular trade right here, you'll see on the next slide, is when we reestablish the support. As you see, we did have this support became, it might have in the short term became resistance, but in this case, it didn't. It popped through and pulled back down, and it retested that previous support. So it reestablished support. That is a great entry or great re-entry. You have your stop pre-programmed for you. I mean, this could be a little bigger than what you're going for. So position size is the best way to manage that. So going with a smaller position size and, hit the max stop at this low. And I wanted to put it at the real body right here for the stop. But I'm thinking, what would I want to do? What am my nagging thoughts when I'm trading? And it's like, well, if I hit this real body and I stop out, I'm going to be thinking, well, what if it holds the low, the previous low on that lower shadow? So I'm probably going to make my stop at the low. That way I'm not trying to manipulate myself out of my stop, because that's how it starts. It starts in the head, especially when you have mental stops like me. I'm not putting hard stops in mostly unless I'm getting up, leaving the desk, if I'm going to do something else, I have some work to do, whatever. So really great nugget, I believe here though, guys, is looking for being patient. Don't be the FOMO trader. If you're the FOMO trader up here, where all the longs are getting FOMO, those are the ones that are probably going to get crushed. And where all the shorts are FOMOing in, those are probably the shorts that are going to get crushed. So wait for the FOMO shorts to pop in there. Wait to reestablish support. Great entry. And then boom, from here, we just continued. That's a pretty nice trade, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind. Look for that reestablished support. It's a great entry. So here's the stops violated that I told you guys about earlier. And we're probably not going to be able to get through all these slides, but anyways, we'll see what we can do. So your first stop violated is when we popped up here. We had sort of this potential for, I guess, a bull pennant, bull flag. This thing could have triangled out here, but instead what we did is we popped and broke this low here. As soon as we broke this low, if you were anywhere up here, you just violated your stop by holding that down anywhere through here. And I got to be the first to tell you, I violated my stop so many times. I can't tell you guys how many times I violated my stop. The biggest problem in trading, your biggest obstacle is you, the man in the mirror. And I can tell you guys exactly how to do it perfectly, but sometimes if I'm sick or anything's going wrong, whatever it is in my life, I might come to the table, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I might do some stupid stuff. So that's another reason why we want position size and want to make this as systematic as possible. At least make it, not fully discretionary, so we can have some rules. But anyways, again, we had, as soon as we dropped off here, there's another stop violated. We had another lower low, stop violated, lower low, stop violated. And you see just over and over. So if you're in this trade, and this is on the 15 second, we're getting rejected at the 65 the whole way down. It happens every single day, and every single time this makes a lower low, we should have been out of this trade. And I'll tell you guys, I've been the guy who's been here the whole way, violating every single one of my stops, because I'm telling myself in my head, this is going to go back up, or this is going to do this, or whatever things that we can tell ourselves to get us in real trouble. And that's how you end up really screwing up your accounts.
Hey Andy, can you go back one slide?
Yes. This one or the next one?
The next one. So we're getting questions about the moving averages that you're using. Yeah, I was just going to say, like previously we've talked about how when you're looking at stocks, you're trying to find which moving average is best for that stock. And so folks are asking why the 65 EMA?
Well, the 65 on the 15-second chart, I use the 65 on every chart, but the 65 on the 15-second chart specifically, and I know all brokers don't have that. TradeStation 10 does have that. I believe NinjaTrader, as you were talking to them earlier, they have that. The 65 is the best momentum indicator that you can possibly imagine. If you buy above the 65 and you have a rule that you do not hold it if it breaks below the 65, you will save your account possibly by doing that. Like I said, it will hold the 65 the whole way up as support. And in this case, we've dropped off the 65 and we are testing just below that 65 as resistance the whole way down. We bounce and we get rejected at every single point, making a lower low. This happens every single day, guys. This is a golden nugget that I found by accident. I just wanted to see, I don't know. I just wanted to see basically what was being used by the floor traders and stuff. What was that, I don't know, for the high frequency traders and stuff like that. What was that golden nugget? And I found it, I believe.
I got to say, this doesn't happen often because I've done so many of these events. You just blew my mind a little bit. That was such a high conviction around the 65 EMA on the 15-second chart. Dang. This is a notebook moment, guys. Get your notepads out, write that one down. Thank you, Andy, for that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in the 65, like I said, holding his support, holding his resistance. And then what I really love is Andy's secret strategy. That's what the guys in the stream called it. And that's basically when we drop off, say we do have in this case, this is not it, but say we have the 65 above the 200 and above the 365. So they're where they're supposed to be in the bullish, pattern. We drop off that 65, we get a bounce of that 200 right back to that 65 as resistance now. So now you got a price target, you got an entry at the 200, you got a price target at the 65 to get out right below it. And you're sitting there with some, 10 trades like that in a day. It's easy to get 1% on your account if you have the right momentum, the right action in those stocks.
So cool. And you guys are not going to find that in a textbook. I can almost guarantee it, but I pretty much guarantee it. Andy, awesome stuff. And guys, just for awareness, EMA is the exponential moving average. So that's the faster one, the more volatile one that follows.
A little more reactive, I'd say, right?
Yeah, more reactive following more recent price changes. All right. Thanks, Andy.
Yep, no problem. So moving on from here, the first row of penny stocks, I always got to tell you guys this all the time, every time. First row of penny stocks, I'm up, they see me, I'm down. So we're not buying up in here at this bull flag, and when it drops off, you know, you call this a bull flag, you make up whatever you want, but I think anything's a bull flag that has some consolidation, bull pennant, whatever. You know, I'm very loose with my patterns, as long as it resembles something like this. This is a beautiful little bull pennant that broke off to the downside and didn't go up. But if we do hold this thing, you know, we're thinking that, oh, that news is great though, man, that's really good stuff. GNUS is going to be the best thing for this, that, or whatever. It's going to go to $200 a share. I know it. Next thing you know, you're sitting here for the next 3 years and you're down so far that your position's like worthless. You know, you're down to like 10% of your value on this thing. And that's what happens with a lot of these. So first row in penny stocks, I'm up, they see me, I'm down. If you buy intraday, get out intraday. Buy pre-market, get out pre-market. And again, these are just rules. I think I'm just going to skip right by this slide here. And I told you guys earlier, 65 EMA, we will meet again. So we're up, we're extended. We're not even retesting the 65 in this. Very bullish. You know, we do have this trend line to go off of. So if you are looking at this and you're like, hey, well, where's my entry? Because it's not in the 65. You do have this sort of trend to go off of. You know, so whenever it goes to retest the trend. Anyways, but we will meet again. So always keep that in mind, that the 65, they you know, and price, they're best friends. They will meet again no matter what. Sometimes they hate each other and they get rejected. Sometimes they love each other and bounce. I don't know. Whatever. I'm making this stuff up as I go along. Don't worry. But we will meet again. Instead of adding to your position, cut your losses, guys. If you have you know, this declining price channel or whatever, you know, you have this downtrend, you're getting lower lows, you're getting lower highs. Instead of just holding and hoping, cut your position and look for the stock to reestablish support, some sort of established point of value where you can see that buyers are stepping in, and you might be able to get a really beautiful position off of that. Patient traders make the most money, I believe. I'm not a patient trader, so you do not want to follow me. You'll probably go right off a cliff sometimes. I might be able to get profit, and you're trying to follow me, and you end up, you know, falling off the cliff. So don't follow other traders. Just you know, stick by your rules. The rules are what keeps us alive in this. The rules is how we continue to grow and stay in this game. I'm not blowing up my account, you know, but sometimes I'm not doing great. Sometimes I'm doing really amazing. You know, it's all about that man in the mirror. So if we have those rules and we actually stick to the rules, cutting your losses, you know, and then looking for a more patient entry rather than just looking when it's looking like that green FOMO buyer FOMO area. If you're buying in the buyer FOMO area, in your journal, I would let yourself know that I was buying in the no-no zone, so to speak. If I'm buying in the FOMO area for shorts, that's golden. That's beautiful. That's where I want to actually be buying. Lucian from the Bullish Bears, he had said, you know, buy at support. And I believe that's a great piece of information for anybody to keep in mind. You know, buying at support is going to be a safer bet than buying in these FOMO trades whenever it's wiggling the worm. I call it wiggling the worm. You trade the worm, you're bound to be the catch of the day. So again, the FOMO buyers holding at the top when all the FOMO buyers want in, put you in no man's land. So again, put in your journals there that you bought in no man's land whenever you're buying those green FOMO trades. And if you are going to be that trader, you got to have discipline to get out. You have to have your stop in mind, pre-programmed. Where am I going to get out if this thing keeps going down? Am I going to keep buying and adding more the whole way it goes down? Not a smart idea. That is just throwing good money in a bad trade. So, you know, again, buying in the no-no zone, you can buy the dip of the rip. You can make a lot of money doing it. I know I have. But if you don't have discipline, and some days that I play chess before I trade, because I want to see how my discipline is. If I suck at chess, I'm probably going to suck at trading. So I might put smaller positions or buy less in the no-no zone.
And just Andy, really quick, we got about 30 seconds left.
All I really need to do, Neil, at this point is tell you guys about this one. I don't know when I said this. I don't know why I was saying this, but somebody in our stream, he had wrote me this, and that this was one of those golden nuggets that I had said. So I have to put this in there. Cake batter, probably not the healthiest, but definitely the tastiest. So, you know, anyways, that's one of the things that you'll get if you're in the stream with us every day. I say some ridiculous things, and this is one of them. So had to put that in there.
All right, guys, make sure that you check out Mighty Soldiers Trades Discord, streaming. Follow along what Andy Cole and his group is doing. I think Andy, I'm pretty sure your whole family trades with you. It's really cool.
Well, we are all part of a team. Sarah is my wife. She's always in the news. She's the one letting me know if they had offerings recently or anything going on. She'll pull up the 10Ks, 10Qs, just any information that I could possibly get that'll give me that edge. And honestly, just not getting into something that's garbage. I do this so much. I don't obey my checklist before I get in. I get in, and then afterwards, I'm like, what about this? I finally remember, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm in this garbage position right now. I know it. I just dropped below the 65 holding it. I know I should sell, but I'm tempted to keep it. What do we got to do? We got to cut it. When in doubt, get the freak out. So
love it. All right. Thanks for being with us, Andy.
Yep. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ordered filled. Check us out.
You know what time it is.
This is the Mighty Soldiers exclusive.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. If you wanna take it to the streets, let's get it. If you wanna take it to the booth, let's get it. I'm about to take it to the top, let's get it. We ain't never ever gonna stop, let's get it. You ain't never heard nobody spit like this. Call the paramedics when I get like this. Front page news when I wreck like this. Hop in the booth and I wreck that shit like,
If you with the squad, then you already know what's up. It be going down, but my account is going up. I'm about to make another $100,000. Rolling up that chain, I'm about to take another puff.
Hold up, I made a killing, now my pockets got swollen. Independent, now I'm taking over. I'm a lot richer, you a lot broker. I'm a pot smoker, stockbroker, blowing up like a supernova. On my mama, I was born a soldier, the best in the game, man. I thought I told you. If you wanna take it to the streets, let's get it. If you wanna take it to the booth, let's get it. I'm about to take it to the top, let's get it. We ain't never ever gonna stop, let's get it. You ain't never heard nobody spit like this. Call the paramedics when I get like this. Front page news when I wreck like this. Hop in the booth and I wreck that shit like, I am unstoppable, I can do anything I ever wanted to. Never did anything they ever wanted me to. Got on my side and I'm not gonna lose and they're not gonna win. I see them, the haters, it's all cause I'm getting dollars again. Commas on commas on commas, I'm buying the dip. The market is dropping again. I can see him hating from the sideline. If you see a hater, tell him bye-bye. Watch my money grow, 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 grow. And my wifey like, whoa, 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 whoa. Somebody better stop me cause there ain't no competition and I'm coming for the top position. Obliterating the opposition every time that I jot it in the composition. Everybody wanna stop and listen cause I bring it to you hotter than the oven in your mama kitchen. I'll be getting hit like a politician. I'ma get bread when you stack looking taller than Scottie Pippen. Ain't nobody ready for the Armageddon when I pop the clip and I ain't playing. I'm spraying you brain, I'm bringing the pain like Damon Wayne. You disappear like David Blaine. I'm dropping bombs, Saddam Hussein. Stop and aim, pop you lames and pop champagne. I ain't playing so stop the games, you know the name. If you wanna take it to the streets, let's get it. If you wanna take it to the booth, let's get it. I'm about to take it to the top, let's get it. We ain't never ever gonna stop, let's get it. You ain't never heard nobody spit like this. Call the paramedics when I get like this. Front page news when I wreck like this. Hop in the booth and I wreck that shit like, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Alright, man, I'm out.